Well, Hunter Biden's legal team moving to pressure Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings and others to launch investigations on Hunter's behalf into the laptop scandal. Really, more specifically, on what happened to Hunter's laptop after he dropped it off at that repair center. The Biden family has very close ties to Delaware's AG Kathy Jennings, a self-proclaimed lifelong friend. Hunter's legal team also sending letters to the DOJ and that AG and the IRS demanding that critics in the story, like Trump allies Rudy Giuliani, Steve Bannon, and other folks like John MacIsaac, the owner of that repair shop, they want them all prosecuted. What is this all based on? Investigations, prosecutions, perhaps? Almost every one of Hunter Biden's lawyers wrote to either has close ties to the Biden family, or they owe their jobs to Joe Biden nominating them for their current positions. So it doesn't exactly seem like a fair situation. Joining us now to discuss this is George Papadopoulos. Great to have you with us, George.
Thanks for having me, John.
You know, it's kind of amazing that there is not a bigger deal being made about this when you have Kathy Jennings, who brags on Facebook about being a lifelong friend of the Bidens. You have Hunter Biden's lawyers leaning on her to prosecute anyone who's tried to expose this laptop. I think in a normal world, you'd have a lot of the press corps, other than us, shouting that this woman should recuse herself, Kathy Jennings, from any possible prosecution here, or just go ahead and write back to Hunter's lawyers and at least make it known to everyone that she won't be influenced by these connections.
Well, thanks for having me on, John. And look, this goes exactly back to, it reminds me a lot of the Attorney General Jeff Sessions situation when he ascended to the Attorney General position in the midst of the Russian hoax, which we now later understood was a complete fabrication and relied on various misinformation itself, in which Jeff Sessions, as Attorney General, recused himself to disabuse the American public of any conflict of interest. Fast forward now in this situation with the first son, I view this, and I think many view it, as a desperate move by a very desperate administration to really deflect and deny the reality that Hunter Biden is a national security threat. His evidence that is overwhelming that he was selling influence and between himself, the Biden family, China, and Ukraine. And it really feeds into this issue that we're facing today as a country, in which the Chinese are now issuing this surveillance balloon over U.S. territory, in which no one has absolutely no idea why they're doing it, or why people like Vladimir Putin feel so emboldened to invade Ukraine. So this is the bigger picture that I think the American public should be concerned about, is how this affects their security, and we're seeing it today.
When you have the Biden administration selling our strategic petroleum reserves to China, and then you also see them unwilling to act on this balloon, seems like a simple thing to shoot it down when it's still over the ocean. They could have done that. You gotta start asking these questions about the family connections to China as well. George Papadopoulos, great to see you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, John.